What's up, subscribers? Sunjutsu here, and today I have another Total Assembly video. I have it here with Arch. How you doing, Arch?
Once again, thank you for having me, and I am fine as usual.
Well, I actually wanted to go ahead and have this discussion. I had you in mind for this discussion because I had questions that needed to be answered personally for me, things that you really couldn't find easily online. So I wanted to talk about a Blood DLC. Now I've been thinking about it. For other games, we've gotten the Blood DLC. Not for Rome 2. I think Rome 2 we had like for 3 months afterward. But for Attila, we had like almost a month afterward. We had the Blood and Gore deal or Blood and Gore DLC. They also added puking, all that stuff. That was nonsense. But anyway, so they added those things in there, and I'm thinking, why is it taking kind of a little bit longer? I mean, it hasn't really been a month, but I'm thinking that they're still gonna be a couple months before you can have the Blood DLC. So I had a couple of questions on the on why it might take a little bit longer. So my first question is, do you think a Blood DLC is necessary for Warhammer or Total War in general? Do you think that the game plays fine right now as it is without the Blood, or is that Blood kind of like a thing? I know there's like a debate in the community whether Blood is really necessary or not in a Total War game, but what do you think?
Well, just the Blood DLC. Just a Blood DLC with no extra animations at the moment, I would consider to be utterly pointless because there's no real reason to be zooming in at the moment since we're back to, Rome 1, essentially, with no combat animation, so that's pointless. But I am assuming, and hoping more like it, that a Blood and Gore pack will include animations, combat animations, with dismemberment and stuff, because if that's not in, I don't really see the point, since it'll just be like puffs of blood, you know?
Yeah, I got you. Like Medieval 2, where you hit them with archers or crossbowmen, and just little poofs of blood kind of come off of them. See, that's exactly the same thing that I was thinking. That if there's gonna be a Blood and Gore DLC, they have to add new combat animations. I don't understand why they took out matched combat animations. I'm sure there's probably a decent reason. I don't know. I haven't even seen too many of the giants be like eating people. Really, I've seen them once or twice, and I've been playing the game for a while, seems now. But all right, let's go to my next question. What color blood do vampires and greenskins have? This might be stupid, but I need to know.
Greenskins bleed green, obviously, because green.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. All right, I didn't want to. I mean, it sounded kind of like a stupid question when I thought of it in my head, but I needed to make 100% sure. So they bleed green, the greenskins, and I'm sure that goes with the goblins as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, now vampires, do they bleed at all, or do they bleed red, or?
Well, if they're going to bleed, it's going to be red human blood.
Okay, all right. That also kind of answers the question because it makes sense because they drink blood. They're used to be humans. All right, that's good. Okay. How about the monster creatures? How about trolls and giants and things like that?
Giants, I believe, is red, like normal, and for creatures it depends a little bit. Like, it's a question of if they bleed at all, because like vampires, if they'd bleed, they'd probably bleed red, but vampires don't have a functioning circulatory system, so bleeding them would be complicated, which is the same with trolls, because they regenerate extremely quickly. I believe they're supposed to have black blood.
Black blood, the trolls.
Yes, dark, vicious blood.
So
And
when it comes to Warhammer, the colors of blood, it goes from red and green and black. Those are kind of like the main ones, or are there other colors like purple or something else?
I haven't heard of purple in Warhammer. Then again, there's lots of Chaos Abominations and stuff which might bleed whatever color, but not that I can remember.
That actually leads me to my next question. Does it matter if a creature gets taken over by or gets influenced by chaos? We have chaos trolls, chaos giants. Does the chaos actually affect, like, I know they have like kind of mutations on them. I was gonna ask you, does it affect the blood of the way they look, or is it just still gonna be like the same blood as if they were normal?
It would affect them to a certain extent. Like, for example, if it's heavily influenced by chaos and corrupted, it's probably going to be darker.
Okay, so it's gonna be more evil, menacing looking. Okay. All right, so that answers that then. And then with zombies, I'm I'm 100% assuming they don't bleed. And how gory do you think that the zombies should be? Since they're zombies, so I mean, how gory do you think that should be, or and what do they bleed or do they don't bleed or?
Not much, I'd assume, because again, not really a functioning circulatory system.
Okay.
By the way,
yeah.
I mentioned on the orcs because in the old fluff they bled green. However, I just remembered in recent 40k fluff, I do believe they are supposed to have dark red blood. But that is the difference of Warhammer and 40k orcs, so I'm actually not 100% sure now.
So it could be either or. If Creative Assembly made them bleed green, then that would be good. If they made them bleed dark red, I guess you wouldn't really tell if it's dark red. It'd be like red. That would also be okay. Is that what you're saying?
Because I remember the orc blood was supposed to be highly oxygenated, which means it would be a dark reddish color. But that was a Warhammer 40k
which
fluff
is
book.
Okay, so it's separate, distinct from the orcs in the Warhammer Fantasy then a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, because I do know that they used to have green blood.
Okay, so looking forward to the orcs having either green or dark red. I'm hoping for green, honestly. Green gives them a little extra flavor of them being completely alienated and a little bit different than the other factions. Going into, I had a question about kill animations, but you kind of answered that already. So effects of magic, do they leave, like the magic that we already have in the game distinct right now? Do they leave effects on like in the lore? Do they leave effects on the body? I would assume that fire magic would burn, obviously, like to a crisp, whatever it touched, or those that died from it. But other magics, like the ones that we have in the game, do you think that they leave kind of like scars or mutate? What do you think?
I would like to see it have an effect. Like, for example, a flame effect would scorch the skin of the people it hit, but I'm suspecting that's probably a bit optimistic.
You think that's too much to ask for from a Blood and I guess I don't know what I would call Blood DLC?
Probably. It's Total War Warhammer has shown itself to be one of the most Total War-y Warhammer, but it's also shown itself to be fairly lazy, with many stuff like matched combat removed, for example. So I'd be surprised if they put in that much of an extra effort
into the Okay, so if you would be surprised with that, when it came to like blood effects or types of animations, which one would you probably haven't thought of it much up until me asking you right now, but what are you excited to see if they add some sort of animation to with the blood and gore? Like what do you want to see specifically if you thought of it?
Nothing in specific, but just I really want to see matched animations again, because it takes all of the fun out of it having
after
these massive
zooming in. Yeah,
just you see the combat and they're just waving at each other, and it feels like we're back in the relatively late 1900s again.
I completely understand with that. I actually looked on the modding, and there isn't really nothing that adds more to the matched. There's nothing that adds to it, so hopefully they patch that up and maybe add a few more or something like that. Last question. Cartoony or realistic? What kind of blood do you expect to see in Warhammer? I know Warhammer kind of has a history of being grandiose, so do you think that it'd be better to have a more cartoony vibe, like say more blood coming out, or something like similar to but not entirely the same as Shogun 2, or something more realistic like Attila and Rome 2?
Well, the combat animations in Attila and Rome 2 are most certainly not realistic, since they can chop people's heads off with a fucking gladius. If anything, I'm almost thinking that'll be more the route they're going for, more over-the-top stuff. Not utterly cartoony, but more dismemberment stuff. Because you have, you've got a Black Orc with a giant two-handed axe. I'm hoping to see him literally just smash a guy in the chest to send him flying.
Just like wreck right through it, because I think one of the animations almost like a half not a 360 but like a 180 styled cleaver swing, so that would probably like either decapitate a couple of Empire troops or dismember them or disembowel them or something, I would assume, right? Like with a giant axe like that.
Yeah, So I'd like to see that, and I would really love to see some special kill animations on the big guys. Like, that's probably too much to ask, but a special animations for Califrons killing giants or something.
That would be pretty cool. Or like a like Deathclaw just jumping on top of a giant, like scratching the crap out of it, and maybe slicing its throat open with its claws or something. I don't know. Now I'm going crazy. If we speculated all the match type of things that we hope to see, we probably won't see too many of them. Would be disappointed, but hopefully they do bring them back. Thank you so much for being on the program, the video. Thank you so much.
Good to be here.
Alright guys, thank you so much for watching us. You guys can go ahead and check out Arch Warhammer on his channel. I'm going to go ahead and leave a link in the description below to his channel. Go ahead and check him out. He's got great videos, and I think you have a lot more 40k also lore and just stuff about Dawn of War and stuff like that. So go ahead and check him out. Also Total War gameplays and stuff like that. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What blood animation or dismemberment animation do you want to see? Or if you can answer any of the questions that we had here, go ahead and put in the comment section below. Let me know. Let's see if we can get over 50 likes for the Blood DLC to come soon, because I definitely need it. And hopefully it comes soon. It comes right. Thank you so much for watching. This is going to be Sunjetsu signing out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Become a subscriber today. What's up, subscribers? Sunjetsu here, and today I have another Total Assembly video. I have it here with Arch. How you doing, Arch? So I wanted to talk about a Blood DLC. Now I've been thinking about it. For other games, we've gotten the Blood DLC. Not for Rome 2. I think Rome 2 we had like for 3 months afterward. But for Attila, we had like almost a month afterward. We had the Blood and Gore Blood and Gore DLC. They also added puking and all that stuff.
Once again, thank you for having me, and I am fine as usual.
Well, I actually wanted to go ahead and have this discussion. I had you in mind for this discussion because I had questions that needed to be answered personally for me. Things that you really couldn't find easily online. The first question is, do you think a Blood DLC is necessary for Warhammer or Total War in general? Do you think that the game plays fine right now as it is without the Blood, or is that Blood kind of like a thing? I know there's like a debate in the community whether Blood is really necessary or not in a Total War game, but what do you think? That was nonsense, but anyway, so they added those things in there, and I'm thinking, why is it taking kind of a little bit longer? I mean, it hasn't really been a month, but I'm thinking that there's still going to be a couple months before you can have the Blood DLC. So I had a couple of questions on why it might take a little bit longer. So